as you sit and looked, it looked like systematically around this country, 28 Black Panthers have been killed since January of '68. And I don't think this is an accident. I don't think it's a mistake. And I think, and I personally feel, and I've expressed it to the various leaders around the country that I've talked to since then, that I think we ought to call for a conference in America and discuss the genocidal practices, what's happened to the Black Panthers, and also take it to the UN. I would hope I would feel the same way if the Ku Klux Klan was being wiped out this way. I would hope I'd feel the same way if the Minutemen was being gunned down in the streets. I would hope that my moral commitment to man would not let me distinguish what color he was, black or white. I say I would hope, because there was a time that if the same thing that's happened to the Panthers would have happened to the Ku Klux Klan, I don't think I would have been too concerned about it. But I think I am a different person.
The year 1969 is drawing to a close, and for the Dallas Police Department, it's been a year of headaches. Up through the month of November, there's been an increase in more than 77% in major crimes over the same 11-month period last year, and a 95% increase for the month of November. 1,110 more robberies have been committed, 7,133 more burglaries than last year, and clearances by arrest are down between 7 and 10%. New reporting methods, according to City Hall, are responsible for part of this increase. But according to some sources here at the police department, the decrease in clearances is due to lack of strong supervision. Today, an announcement was made from City Hall that Police Chief Charles Batchelor is taking an extended leave of absence due to ill health, and Assistant Chief M.W. Stevenson has been appointed as acting chief until a new chief can be appointed. Channel 8 reported a few weeks ago that this would take place, and a new chief would probably be named before the first of the year. This is Carl Mayo at Police Headquarters.
I think I take one field that I am familiar with is the whole field of nursing education. There's been a great revolution in that particular field. What 20 years ago that only registered nurses did, now you have technicians doing. So they have in a sense they have changed their ideas about what can be accomplished by certain levels of educated people. So I think there's some hope, but I think the real hope is that to provide them so that the private sector of the economy will say, well, these people, the OEO or the welfare agency or the employment agency, they're giving us good people, and these people can produce for us. And once they adopt that position and start really hiring these people, then we're really in business. We're going to make some progress and are really going to, I think, diminish the welfare problem in this country. And don't get me wrong, we're not going to get rid of it because there are too many disabled and too many mentally retarded, too many elderly people to ever, get rid of the problem and just sweep it under the rug. We're going to always have some aspects of a public assistance or income maintenance program in this country, I think. But I think we can get rid of a large part of the problem that causes us so much concern, and that is that there are some able-bodied people that could work and provide for themselves if they had the education and training to get a job.
And I think, that in order to become free and enjoy the Constitution, we have to first deal with self, which isn't a Cadillac or this or that, but identifying with my blackness, what nature, the shell that nature put me here with. And I think because of that, I think we're getting more dignity. I think if you check the records today, check the Federal Bureau of Narcotics, you find out narcotic addiction in the black community have decreased 40% in the last 5 years. You would find out that the suicide rate in America in the black community, and it's very interesting because a lot of black people didn't know that we committed suicide because the only people to get their name in the papers when Henry Ford's daughter jumped. And so we've been led to believe that only white folks commit suicide. But now we know, since we've gotten concerned, that the suicide rate in the black community is 10 times as high in the white community. That's decreasing now. And the only reason we can see the decrease is this self-image, this human thing we're dealing with ourselves. We're talking about blackness. You got young kids in white institutions today that saying, I don't want to become a chocolate-covered white boy. I want to be fit to go back into the black community and deal with the problem. So I would say we are probably at the threshold of making the black and America great. I say it because the white kid, for the first time in history of this country, is doing a very beautiful thing. He's changed the civil rights movement to a human rights movement.
Well, this is, you perhaps have heard the comments by Mr. Monahan and others that there will not be as much money available as some people thought after the Vietnam effort diminishes, that it's going to take an extremely long time to cut back military spending. You just can't, by getting troops out of Vietnam today, you don't automatically cut off the expenses there, so it'll take a while. We're hopeful, and we know for a fact that if the Nixon Welfare Proposal is passed, that it will take considerably more money. I think the estimate was some $4 to $6 billion, which I think is a rather conservative estimate. These additional dollars for the Nixon Welfare Proposal. So I would say this, that the administration, by introducing this legislation, is anticipating spending more money in the welfare field.
think that the thing that's important is that a refusal was made publicly to present it to a proposition through a referendum to the voters, and a refusal was made publicly to allow the courts to decide the issue.